In the heart of a bustling African town called TWATAKO, there lived a man named Ndabako, known far and wide as the richest man in the region. His wealth was unmatched, with vast estates, luxurious cars, and a mansion that towered over the village. But Ndabako was not only known for his riches, he was infamous for his wickedness. Ndabako amassed his fortune through cunning and ruthless means. He exploited the poor villagers, buying their lands for a pittance and forcing them to work on his plantations under harsh conditions. His businesses thrived on the back of the townspeople's labor, but he gave nothing back to the community. Instead, he used his wealth to control and intimidate anyone who dared to stand against him. The villagers whispered tales of his cruelty. It was said that Ndabako had a heart as cold as stone and that he delighted in the misery of others. His mansion, surrounded by high walls and guarded by fierce dogs, was a symbol of his detachment and indifference to the suffering around him. But despite his power, Ndabako was a man plagued by fear. He feared losing his wealth, his influence, and most of all the respect he commanded through fear. This fear drove him to make a pact with a master shaman named Mankura, who promised to protect his fortune in exchange for a dark prize. Every full moon, Ndabako had to offer a part of his soul to Mankura, which made him more ruthless and isolated over time. Meanwhile, in the same village lived a young boy named SHANBAKO. SHANBAKO was brave, curious, and determined to make a difference. He lived with his wise grandmother, Nnagiye, who possessed knowledge of ancient traditions and the power of community. Nnagiye often told SHANBAKO stories about the old ways, teaching him about justice, unity, and the importance of standing up against evil. One day, SHANBAKO overheard a group of villagers discussing Ndabako's latest act of cruelty. An old farmer had lost his land and his family was starving. SHANBAKO decided that enough was enough. He went to Nnagiye and told her of his plan to challenge Ndabako's tyranny. Nnagiye, who was his grandmother, though worried for SHANBAKO's safety, saw the determination in his eyes and decided to support him. Nnagiye took SHANBAKO to a hidden cave in the forest, where she kept a collection of ancient scrolls and artifacts. She handed SHANBAKO a special amulet, which she said was blessed by the ancestors. "This will protect you," she said. "But remember, my son, true strength comes from within and from the unity of our people." Armed with the amulet and Nnagiye's wisdom, SHANBAKO began his quest. He started by gathering information about Ndabako's dealings. He spoke to villagers, learning about their hardships and rallying them to his cause. Slowly, the villagers began to unite, fueled by SHANBAKO's courage and Nnagiye's guidance. As Kofi's movement grew, Ndabako noticed the change in the villagers. They were no longer afraid. They spoke of justice and unity. This angered Ndabako, and he decided to confront the young boy who dared to challenge him. He sent his guards to capture SHANBAKO, but with the help of villagers, SHANBAKO always managed to stay one step ahead. One fateful night, during a full moon, SHANBAKO and Nnagiye decided it was time to end Ndabako's reign of terror. They gathered the villagers and marched to Ndabako's mansion. Ndabako, sensing the threat, called upon Mankura for help. The shaman appeared, his presence dark and foreboding. Mankura warned Ndabako that the price for protection was now higher than his entire soul. Desperate and scared, Ndabako agreed, but it was too late. SHANBAKO, with the amulet glowing brightly around his neck, stepped forward. "Your time is up, Ndabako," he declared. "The power of the ancestors and the unity of our people are stronger than your greed and fear." Villagers emboldened by SHANBAKO wells surged forward. Nnagiye chanted an ancient spell, and the power of the ancestors filled the air. The amulet's light intensified, and Mankura's dark figure began to waver. The shaman, unable to withstand the combined strength of the villagers and the ancient magic, vanished in a cloud of smoke. Ndabako, now without his dark protector, fell to his knees, begging for mercy. The villagers led by SHANBAKO and Nnagiye decided that justice would prevail, but with compassion, they banished Ndabako from the village, stripping him of his wealth and power. The lands he had stolen were returned to their rightful owners, and the village began to heal. In the days that followed, TWATAKO thrived. The villagers worked together, supporting each other and rebuilding what Ndabako had destroyed. SHANBAKO, now a hero, continued to learn from Nnagiye and the elders, ensuring that the village remained united and just. The story of Ndabako and the cause of his wicked words became a legend in TWATAKO, a reminder of the power of unity, kindness, and the true meaning of wealth. And SHANBAKO, with Nnagiye by his side, grew up to be a wise and just leader, ensuring that the spirit of the ancestors and the lessons of the past guided the village into a bright future. Thank you for following us. This is the second part of the story. If you would like more of this story, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for following us. Thank you for subscribing.